What up, world? You on the mic with Mike, Mr. Mike, and this is Keep That Chair Spinning. Let's get it. All right, good people, welcome back. As I said, this is Keep That Chair Spinning. I'm your man, Mr. Mike, and what you have is a podcast that's geared to some of the up-and-coming barbers, maybe some barbers that's been in the industry for a little bit, find themselves a little stagnant and just unsure of how to get over the hump. Hopefully within this we can drop you a couple of gems and give you some insights on how to get your groove back going. And speaking of gems, you know, today is Gemsday. Gemsday is simply a time where I bring on a fellow veteran barber, a barber that's been at it for a while, and we ask them just a couple questions and let them give us some insight as to what has got them going in their career, what were some of the steps that they had to take, and maybe some obstacles that they had to overcome to get themselves back going. Let's say it's not easy. You know, we do all come through this in different shapes and forms and different walks, of course. So barbering ain't for the it's not for the weak, man. You know, you're gonna sit down quite a bit, but this is a time for some of the veteran barbers to give some of their takes as well and let you know some of the same journeys that they had to take. Without further ado, I have a good friend of mine, Big Juan, Don Juan, Big Stepper, many hats that this young man can wear, man. And I'm just grateful that I've had the chance to work beside this man for a couple years now. As I was telling you, man, Juan, like, you remind me of you. You remind me of me so much. I've told you that from the first couple times that you started working beside me, man. That just the grind that you have, the will, the want. Because again, I've seen it time and time. I work with quite a few barbers now, and I've seen some barbers that'll shy away or just straight up say that no, I don't want to do it. And when it comes to you and I ask, is there something, do you mind trying to cut this, or, do you mind cutting that type of hair or whatever? I mean, you've never turned it down, man, and I appreciate that. As I said, you don't turn down nothing but your collar, man. So keep that going, man. I mean, that's the only way you can learn from it. If you shy away from it, you let that fear overcome you, it's gonna take a long time to get to where you need to be. So the best way to face that fear is just to step into it and tackle that head. It's just hair. I say that all the time. It's gonna grow back. As long as you keep that communication open with the customer as well. Hey, I've never done this, or I've only done it once or twice. I mean, they can't be too upset with you, but you have to start somewhere. You have to learn, and definitely Juan has taken all those steps and he's faced all his fears, and so I'm grateful to be able to work beside you and see that in you, man. But we have Mr. Juan. Juan, we want to dive right into it, man. I guess let them know, what was it that actually got you into barbering? What was something, or what was your path, your journey that got you into cutting hair?
Well, I would say the first time, they still ask me the same question sometimes. Even my customers, they're like, what got you in basically to start cutting hair? I would say one of the first things I would say it's I always listen to the customers, because basically you can give one of the best fades, or you can do whatever, one of the crazy haircuts, but at the end, if the customer doesn't like the hair,
Yeah.
it's not good.
Right.
So basically, I would say, just listen to the client first, and then that's whenever you can basically start asking questions.
Yeah.
Like how you want the haircut, how you want to basically, so they can be comfortable, because it's not my haircut, it's their haircut.
Yeah. That's what I say too. I don't want to cut your hair how I want to cut it. I want to cut it how you want me to cut it, which also ends up to being, I don't want to cut your hair 2-3 different times in this 30-minute time frame, whatever the case is. But what was it that made you pick up a pair of clippers?
The first time I did it probably was, every time you get a haircut, sometimes they like trash haircuts.
Yeah.
And the first time I did it was basically, I started just doing my edge up. So if I messed up myself, it was just myself. That's how basically I started, because sometimes the edge was so bad, and then whenever I had to go to school or something.
Yeah.
it was looking all crazy. So basically, I was just at the restroom trying to fix myself and everything. So that's basically what got me in. Basically, I would say more about details.
Okay. Yeah, I know you are very detailed when it comes to your cuts. Very time efficient. You take your time and you know you make sure you knock out those key points. So I can see that. Um, so I guess you know, with that being said, now how long have you been cutting hair now?
I mean, I did it sometimes at home, a couple times. So, like being a like professional barber, I would say 2.5.
Okay.
At home, I was just basically cutting my brothers.
Yeah.
So I would say trying, nothing like specific.
Yeah.
So 2.5 years probably.
Good deal. Okay, so now being at a shop, because I know you were at another shop before as well, but being in the different shops, what is some advice, what are some pointers, some tips that you would give younger Juan, you know, maybe Juan that was in school 3-4 years ago, or whatever the case may be? What is some information, some guide points that you could give young Juan that you would give him today?
I would say basically, if you know what do you want in life, you just have basically to keep trying, giving basically your best. I mean, you're still gonna get stuck in some stuff, or like taking a step. You always have to basically don't take the whole step. Just basically take your time, and then think about it, and then take the another step. So you can be basically specific, like what are you wanting. So I would say just just don't give up. Just keep trying, and then the more the more you learn, the better you get. So I don't know. Maybe in the future I would be basically be one of the top barbers. You never know.
Yeah.
You just have to be trying.
That's it.
Keep just keep going. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up that fast.
And that's it. That's the patience. You know, it's kind of what got me to trying to get this information out, because I see so many that have came through and they just hit that brick wall. They kind of get at that 2-year mark and it just feel like the bubble hadn't popped yet. But little do they know, had they kept grinding, kept digging, kept driving, the bubble would have popped. I remember you had said that somebody had told you that as well. It takes about that 2 years for your business to truly flourish.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I get exactly what you're saying as far as patience. You know, you got to have that patience. So what's a pointer that you would give? I don't know, if you were to go back and speak at your barber school right now, or you know, just any other barber school, what's some information that you would tell somebody that's in school right now, getting ready to come out?
Probably I would say just first, don't just go to like every like any barber shop. First, I think I would say just look around the area and try to basically know what do you want first. Because I would say there's no point for you to just like go to the barber shop and then be there just for 3 or 4 months, and then just go to another barber shop and then just be there for another 3 or 4 months, and then just go to another one.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that doesn't work. I think just whenever you get out from barber school, just know what do you want, stay there, and then just let it flow.
Yeah. I know that was one of the things that I tried to do as well when I was getting ready to graduate. Probably about after I took my written, was when I started putting in the work, the research. You know, I had 2.5, 3 months left of school. So I started going around, I started looking at different barbershops. The shop that I actually landed on, you know, I was going to see him probably about 2 times a month, you know, checking in with him, making sure the chair was still available. I was keeping him up to date on my hours, you know, letting him know that I got this test coming up. Once I take this test, this is what I got to do. So it does, again, it comes down to us as well as putting in the legwork and knowing what type of environment we're shooting for and what type of vibe we gotta go, you know, place ourselves in, because as you say, you can't move around. You know, you can't get a constant business like that. For me, that first shop that I was at, man, I was there for 6 years. That was day for day, you know, and again, that was 3 months before I even got there from spending a bunch of time there. And so now, you know, just being here for the 4 years that I've been here, you're not going to be able to grow completely by bouncing around all the time. You will lose some customers, and I mean, if you're okay with that, if you're okay starting back over, then that's all up to you. But when you're trying to flourish in this game, and you're trying to make a name for your game, you have to sit still. You have to overcome any obstacles that you have within that shop. But it can start by you doing your research on your own, and seeing if that's going to be the spot for you. I like that.
Yes, sir.
So again, being here, and we went through a couple changes and whatnot. You've done both aspects. So when it comes down to it, what is it that you like better? Do you prefer booth rent or do you prefer commission?
I mean, I would say if you're basically just starting, just start with commission.
Start with commission.
Because that's how you're gonna basically build your clients.
Yeah.
And then whenever you think you're ready, and then you know that basically you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you got everything, but basically you can just pay it off and then just get some extra money for
Right.
you. I would say booth rent.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. When I was starting out, commission wasn't an option, but I do like the idea because it is a matter of you're not losing if you're not cutting. All right, so it does pay off that if you had a slow day, you don't owe anything. But the other aspect of that is if you did have a busy day, you will be docked because you have to pay your percentage out. But I do believe that commission is a great start for someone that maybe even new to the area. You did get your license on the other side of town, but you want to try out this side of town. Commission is a great start. But for me, I do booth rent's all I've known for the 10 years, and I love it. I'm all about it. But it takes that grind to be able to pump out whatever you have to pay to rent that chair out. So definitely a good one. I guess when it comes down to it, what would you say would be one of your favorite haircuts to do? What's a solid cut that you love to do? You can't wait to see them coming through.
I would say everything has to be like, I would say mid for everything.
Yeah.
Like mid separates, mid fades. I would say those are the not the easiest one,
Mhm.
but basically the ones that I think it will look basically better. And even the high drop, I would say too.
Yeah.
And it depends the head shape.
Yes.
Because more head shapes, if some customer asks me for a high drop and the head shape doesn't match the
Mhm.
haircut,
Mhm.
it doesn't look good.
Yes, sir.
But I would say if it's like the head is gonna pop the haircut, I would basically recommend a high
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah, and that's one of the coolest things is, man, like they put so much into us, every time they're like, well, what do you think?
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, what
It's
do
not
you
like-
think?
I don't if you basically can show me a picture or something,
Yeah.
and then we can start from there.
Right.
Because if you ask me like, what do you think? I would say it's not what I think. It's basically what are you thinking, or what do you want?
Yeah,
and
what-
then we can go from there.
Yeah, what are you shooting
Yeah.
for, or even, how do you normally get your hair cut?
Mhm.
We can go from that as far as like you coming in and hadn't had a haircut in 2-3 months, and
And
you're
then
like,
you ask me for
yeah, man, I don't know, it's
I
a
don't
blank
know.
canvas. I give you a ball fade with a 2 on top. But customers that put so much stock into us, they hold our word and our opinion very high. So it does take you doing some research again. I still say it that I was watching videos for the longest. You got some downtime, go watch a barber haircut tutorial or whatever, because there is so many different techniques out there. So I mean, you can pick up any different type of technique and put it in your little repertoire or whatever. But you can also, if you realize it's not working for you, take it back out, man. And it's just different styles and so many different ways to skin a cat, as they say. So yeah, I get that, man. I guess, is there a haircut that you don't like to do? Maybe something that's just a little too challenging or too time consuming, especially like, let's say, the holiday rush or back to school rush, and that this is the time where you need to be on time, but this cut is
Yeah.
gonna always give you a struggle.
Probably I would say low
Low.
fades. and it depends, cause I mean, if you want basically like, I would say clean your size or everything, now you can do basically not a fast, but basically like a on time,
Yeah.
low fade.
Yeah.
But basically, whenever they ask, like, can I get a low fade? But basically, the haircut it's like so long.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna take time. You know it's gonna take more time than we're supposed to take.
Right. I think with the low fade is tougher when they don't have much head to actually, play with.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because when you get to try to stretch that fade out,
There's no way.
yeah, if you don't have a whole bunch of head to stretch, then it just looks so congested, and
Yeah,
it's hard to get that out. Yeah, I get that for sure. Well, man, we were just sitting here talking the past couple weeks ago, or this past weekend, I'm sorry, messing with clippers and such. Do you have a go-to clipper that you like to, cut with?
I mean, I haven't tried a lot of clippers yet, but basically, the ones that I use is also the magic clip.
Magic clip. Yeah.
There's I would say to reverse the ball line, it's way faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then details, I would say most of the times I use my masters
Okay.
for details,
Okay.
because that one you can hear whenever it's cutting,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
know basically where to hit it, and then you're gonna hear.
Yes, sir.
I would say those two clippers right now. I haven't tried a lot, so probably it's some new stuff and
Yeah.
better stuff.
It's always growing for sure. I'd say I remember when you came in, I was still telling you about the 76ers because that's just all I know, that detachable blade. I mean, I still mess with adjustables. I always have messed with adjustables. But for me, if I can, depend on the hair, I like my 76ers. That's just my go-to, but that's just the old school ones, and to sound like a grandpa, I was using when they had the cord on them, but now all my clippers are fairly cordless, so I'm all about that nowadays. But still, 76ers, they're my go-to. I love them as well, and it's just what I do. Is there a clipper that you have worked with that you've just basically had to retire and put it to the graveyard? You just didn't like how it cut, or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because basically those are the clippers that I have right now. Those are the ones that I'll start cutting here.
Okay.
So I would say if you basically take care of your stuff,
Yeah.
they're gonna last.
Yeah.
So they've been over 2 years and they still do.
What they're
They're
supposed
good.
to do. Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
They don't do bad. So that's why I'm saying. So that's why I haven't changed nothing yet.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah, I bounce around. I guess kind of getting caught up in the hype and watching one too many videos and the unpackaging and all that. So I bounce around. I play with a few clippers, but again, that's what they're there for. And it's good to have the backups if for whatever reason something does dunk out on you, midday and you can't run around. There's no little boutique spot around the corner for you to go get some clippers. So that's just what I've learned to do is have a couple backups on hand. But still, if you got your go-to, then that's just what it is. So I get that. I guess before we wrap it up, man, let them know what is a different type of customer that just kind of irritates you. Like, what is something that you have to bite your tongue on a lot to make sure that you can still be the best for yourself and for the customer? Like, what is a pet peeve that you have with certain customers that you have to deal with?
I would say, I mean, whenever the first time they see me, I'm not like real tall, or like I would say I don't have the shape like being a barber, because you can see basically a lot of barbers they look like barbers. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So basically, like me, I'm just skinny, short, and then by the time they see me, they're like, most of the time they ask me, "Or you work here?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I do work here." Or sometimes they ask me, I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I know what I'm doing."
Right. Yeah.
Because I would say, if you know what you're doing, you basically gonna keep going. And then whenever they ask me that, it gets me like frustrated or mad inside of me.
Yeah.
I've basically been learning how to like just
Yeah.
take it out.
Yeah.
And then just start from there.
Yeah.
So I would say just whenever they don't, whenever they see me like bad or whatever they don't trust me, that's one of the top.
And I get that, and you know, believe it or not, I've had it done as well. You know, I've had customers 2-3 years ago, even that was what, year 7, year 8 for me, that still was like, man, I'm a little nervous. You know, I never been to anybody else before. I mean, you chose me. You're sitting in my chair for a reason. So,
yeah,
you know, you got to give me a shot, man. I give you the mirror when we're done. But I know you're like me because it is something that I do, you know, hound. And again, we work side by side. So you hear me, man, continue to ask those questions, you know what I mean? Because as we said, I'd rather cut it the way you want it instead of the way I want it. You know, I don't want you to say, I'll just do what you do, and then I cut it how I want to, and then you're like, yeah, this ain't what I wanted. Yeah, so keep doing that. Keep asking them questions. Ask the questions, you know. You don't want to end up doing 3-4 different haircuts on this one person, and again, you end up getting behind trying to please them. Ask the questions, you know. Make yourself feel good. If they, you know, unsure of themselves and they're not feeling confident that you can do it, they can either go to the next barber or they can just sit down and pack their patience. But I'm with you, man. And just keep fighting. You know, you're doing a great job, man, and I appreciate it for sure.
Yes, sir.
Man, you got any information you want to give to people? Any way to get in touch with you, like Instagram or anything?
I mean, you can just book straight from the barbershop website, I would say, because I don't live around here, so basically I don't know a lot of people from here.
Gotcha.
So I just, most of the times, I just give a call or just give Instagram information, and then they can just basically book from me. And I would say just give it a try. You don't lose nothing.
Yeah.
And then if I can get you basically in, and then you explain to me what kind of haircut you want and everything, and then I do my best, and then you see that basically I'm doing good, whatever I'm doing, just keep on.
That's all it is.
I would say that's one of the things. Just and keep trying.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. I appreciate it as always, Big Juan, Don Juan, Big Stepper. All right, people. Appreciate it as always. Check back with us. Holla.